Like I said, in the studio, we are hosting the Senator for Kisii County, Richard Onyonka. Mheshimiwa, karibu tena sana to Radio Generation.
Thank you. I'm good morning, everybody. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to see Muga, my griot.
You know, I'm still recovering from this shock. You've told me that you were in radio before.
I used to work for Nation FM. I was there for about a year.
Yes.
And I was, when they just started.
Right.
And I worked there for a while and then decided, let me go and look for something else. It was interesting. Very interesting, yeah. Well,
so tomorrow as we celebrate World Radio Day, we're going to be celebrating folks like yourself then. Yeah. So again, I'm very shocked. Good for you.
Now, and it comes from my background. When I was a student in the US, I used to do these Afrocentric, Africa historical perspective, African music, African culture, all that stuff. All right. So this is a background somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
What kind of music do you like?
Everything. I can do jazz. I can do. You see the stuff you see this guy is calling Niger.
Yeah.
That was our music.
Okay.
Those days, music by Fela. I can listen to Zouk. I can listen to salsa.
Yes. Yeah. Good stuff. Hiyo tutaongea wakati mwingine. Leo tumekuita tuongee siasa.
Yes.
Governors are accusing senators of extortion, harassment and many other adjectives.
Let the first person throw his stone. I mean, I've always said on TV and in the studio, CP Muga, I've always said this country is just a den of thieves and crooks who share the loot depending on who has grabbed it and who is disposed to enjoy it. And essentially what you have is that when I saw these governors discussing and saying there are certain senators who are extorting money from us, but it is governors who've been paying senators not to indict them. Yeah.
They have been, meaning it has been happening for a very long time.
If the reports are being audited as it has been last week, if they do it this week, it will be the same. Yeah.
So how much do they bribe? I would like to know.
It depends on what you offer. It depends on what you stole. You see, when a governor has stolen in the audited books and the auditor general said you stole 120 million, there's a figure which the governor start offering before you have even interrogated the books.
Right.
That could be as low as 2 million to as high as 10 million. It depends, because they don't want us to pronounce them what they have done. And what they have done is as shocking as anything can be.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they have said that they have evidence of these senators who have been harassing them and extorting them.
I listened to that, but the truth is that we also have evidence where these governors have been making offers as to how much they can deal. They call certain individuals, they tell them to come and meet them at the Senate. Some are meeting in the basement, some are meeting in their hotels.
Yes.
If you have not done anything wrong, why would you give me money?
Okay.
I mean,
have you been offered?
CP, if I've not worked for you,
yes.
If I don't owe you anything, why would I give you money?
Why would I give you money?
Yes.
Mheshimiwa, have you been offered by a governor because of these processes that you have in the Senate?
I'm a Kenyan. Yes.
He's a Kenyan and he's a senator.
Yes. So he has been offered this money.
Yes.
Okay. So my next question is, have you taken that money?
Sometimes if a guy comes and says, oh, you're going to weekend, there's mafuta here, 100,000 for fuel, I take that, but it is stolen money. I'm only handling stolen property. But nobody watches me handling stolen property. So my conscience, CP, my conscience is very clear. Don't laugh.
I'm laughing because we're having an honest conversation.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
You know, you're the first person I have actually asked this question and they've actually answered it straightforward.
But I tell you, Kenyans don't like to say the truth the way it is. Yeah.
You must understand that in Kenyan politics,
yes,
at that high stakes level, 100,000 cannot constitute a bribe.
Absolutely.
Amesema hiyo ni pesa yake ya mafuta.
I'm going to tell you, it does. In the minds, the ethos of that does not constitute a bribe. It can't possibly a bribe. It's too little.
Okay.
Yeah. They even call it, it's greasing the car.
So now, As far as, because the governors have been, we've seen them several times. It's like they're running away from accountability. What is the plan going forward, as far as, because you are the guys who are supposed to oversee, your primary role is actually oversight.
Thank you. You're asking a very good question. Let me try and answer it.
Yes.
If you look at the way the system is designed, I have always, CP have frequently talked about how our system is broken in terms of what has made Kenya get to the point where it is and why do we behave the way we do, especially the ruling class.
Yes.
The system is designed deliberately for people to share the loot. They share public money. And this money comes either from projects. I mean, you should have seen when the Supreme Court, the High Court, the Court of Appeal made a ruling that CDF should continue. All of us know that the CDF is an ATM kitty where people share the money. We know that. I mean, we talk about it. Raila talked about it. And yet when this thing came up and the ruling was done and they said, CDA is actually, CDF, NG CDF is actually legal, therefore it should exist. No. My position has always been, we are not in a capacity. We don't have the ability to handle public money, utilize it well, and share it equitably and fairly. We don't have.
Yeah.
And the institutions which are supposed to be the guardrails which are supposed to be put to monitor and make sure that we are not misbehaving, have systematically and slowly been disbanded.
Yes.
Legislatively, for example, even if I don't even talk about CDF, I can talk about the president handling money. Right now, the president has access to the consolidated fund unaffected. He's the one who calls and tells the central bank to either float treasury bills, raise money, and where that money, guys, the money doesn't have to come to the treasury.
But that was never. Are you saying that he legally can do that now?
When he got the majority, by the time when the ruling was being made about how Azimio had or did not have a number of members of parliament, that time the abracadabra that was being done was they were changing the basic tenets of self management and financial prudence.
Essentially, they were interfering with the independence of treasury.
Yes, the independence of the financial, the treasury, especially the consolidated fund. No president before has ever had a capacity where he accesses the consolidated fund.
No, they've not been able to.
No, President Ruto is the first one to do that. He can withdraw, he can authorize people to withdraw and transfer money. That's why you hear we've lost money from the e-payment system.
E-citizen.
E-citizen, money got lost. How?
So are you therefore saying that then it makes sense when you look at the thinking of this particular government in trying to pull every cent
to the center?
Yes.
Yes.
So that
they have access, they know which money has come, how much it is, and where they're going to take it. Because me as a senator have no business. The members of parliament have no business. They only go and pass a budget. Like now we are going to start handling budgetary issues. We are going to start discussing the budget policy statement. That's all for sure. It's actually BS. There's nothing being discussed there. Decisions have been made. Where the money is going to be spent has been made. All that is going to be done now is rubber stamping.
You're actually depressing me now.
That is where your country is, and people have refused to talk about it. But you tell me, let me use a very simple example. We passed a budget of 3.6 trillion. Our wage bill is 1 trillion. What has been done in the last 8 months with 2.76 trillion? Which road have we done? Which airport have we fixed? There's nothing. The money is just being shared. Don't look at me like that. Why are you looking at me like that?
You are sitting right in front of me.
Yes.
And when I look forward, my gaze will fall upon you.
Yeah, because you look shocked.
No.
But no, not you. He is more shocked.
No.
Yeah, no, I'm depressed now.
No, me, it isn't the shock. It's my mind is going through development projects that I have actually seen. Okay? Whenever I hear a statement that nothing is being done,
yes,
that's where the look comes from, because I do know of things that are getting done.
Yes.
I've seen them. But if you asked me whether I can aggregate the 2.7 trillion and say, well, I've seen it at work, that I am not able to do.
Well, I saw the president landing on a road yesterday that is currently being constructed.
No. How do you know it's being constructed?
I saw bulldozers there. And it looks very black.
All
That
right.
means imekelewa tu hiyo kitu anaitanga ni bitumen ama ni tar.
There is a gentleman called Marara Kibaso.
Yes.
Okay. He's gone back to what he started doing before.
Oh yes, he has.
Before he started pursuing higher goals. And he visits places where it has been said development has been done. And he takes you so that you can see.
Yes.
And he goes through the budget, what was done, blah, blah. You get a clear picture. If I'm to give an example of some of the things that I have seen him talk about, some are historical, some are current.
Yes.
Unfortunately, what we have are projects that have been started,
Yes.
but as to whether the majority are being completed, I am not so sure. No. Started, yes. They were started. They got to a certain point. And then they got to a certain point. Yes. Because what we're talking about is a project that has been started with a clear timeline of when it should be
When to
complete.
finish, yes.
Exactly.
When to start, when to finish.
And you look and you a problem arises then, because that is where the uncertainty comes in. That they were started, no question.
Yeah.
That they've gone to a certain point, no question. Completion.
There's a time the President Ruto said there was a lot of corruption in Parliament. He also mentioned judiciary. No one came forward to say this is a person who receives or this is a person who gives. You dared the governors 2 days ago to actually report this corruption to DCI, this extortion. I have not seen any governor who has done it yet.
They announced some names yesterday.
Okay.
But for me, it's a red herring. The truth, let's put it this way. We are dealing with a very critical question on our financial management as a state. But instead of using those basic tenets we went to school for, how do you take a financial structure and analyze it for you to understand, for you to get to a position where you're actually going to stop and say, these we can't do and these we can do, this we can do. Where we are, CP, is that my country has positioned itself in such a manner that we have basically become like a casino. Everything is about a deal. There is no transactional. I mean, I grew up knowing that you went and sat down, if you were legislators, one of your responsibilities is to make sure that you actually manage the resources. One of the responsibilities of members of parliament is to manage the resources of the country. How? By making sure that budgeting is done. But we corrupt budget.
Yes.
We corrupt manage where the money is going to be. I mean, I am not being anti-patriotic when I say I really love the stadium being built on Ngong Road. But does it have to cost 156 billion? I mean, this is a contradiction that we keep raising. We are telling President William Ruto, why does he think that all of us are stupid? I mean, he goes and borrows money. We don't know at what interest rates he's borrowed the money. We have never seen the agreements which have been deposed at the central bank and the treasury. The stadium was supposed to be built with 9 billion. All right, that's when it started. 9 billion. We're at 147B. What?
Okay.
And it's not just Talanta. I mean, you can go through each and every. That's how they started with the Adani story of the airport. That's how they started. I mean, every single transaction on everything that is taking place is designed deliberately that within it is where they put the money that they either take, they share, or they eat.
Budgeted corruption.
That is why you see the members of the broad-based government who joined government have been saying how it is their time to eat. It's their time to share. But when Honorable Karoli Omondi asked him, he said, you guys are really excited that the president has brought to Luo Nyanza, or Nyanza, whatever you want to call it, about 52 billion shillings, and you are celebrating about that. And yet, the one hospital in Uasin Gishu has been given 54B. One hospital. All right? So, and yet we have got 47 counties. Why are you not able to sit down with people and say, listen, we can even go regional? We don't have to go to county. We can go regional, the old provinces, which were 8. Can't we build 8 serious health facilities that are helping our people with that 40 billion? I mean, if you gave me 2 billion in Kisii, believe you me, I'll do a fantastic job to do one health facility which is dealing with particular issues that are affecting the communities.
Yeah.
And that's not, Kisii is not, it's just a microcosm. The Republic of Kenya needs certain things to be in place for us to even start talking about this Singa something stuff.
Singapore.
Do you know, when you talk about health services, where you have a point, Senator, is this. These level 6 hospitals like Kenyatta University Hospital, KNH and so forth.
Yes.
The actual cost of putting up such a hospital is around 15 billion.
Thank you.
What it would actually cost. And the 15 billion is not you've put up a structure, you've employed people, it has commodities, it is a functioning unit.
Yes.
Yes.
So again, I'll still go back to the question of oversight. Yeah.
And thank you. And the last point I was actually nearly going to forget is that, I mean, I was telling one of my chairmen who's chairing, for example, the health committee, CP. If you see some of the things that our brothers governors are doing in some of our counties, particularly when it comes to health sector, you go and look and see what they've done with their mortuaries. You look at which medicines are available. We went to a health facility in one of these eastern areas, and 60% of the medicines is expired. And to make matters worse, you are then told that is the medicine. In fact, when the president went there for Mashujaa Day, that is the medicine that was being donated to the poor people of that area for optics. The medicines were expired. And people tell you, shh, Onyonka, please, today you come here. Don't you know this?
This is Kitui County.
I'm not going to say
he's not going to tell you.
I'm not going to tell you. I'm just telling that
on
one
the eastern counties.
Take your pick.
One of the health facilities we went to, the medicines are expired. You have basic things like electricity, which doesn't work. You have a health facility where water doesn't run, and to drill the water is only 8 or 6 million. Which for me, I find it too expensive even. And yet, because some of the counties have those drilling rigs, but sometimes they leave their drilling rigs to go and hire contractors from outside to come and rig water because they can then pay 8 or 9 million for 100 meters of water. You go into these facilities, the windows are broken. You have our patients who are basically lying in bed. There are no bed sheets. All right, people are being treated for malaria, but you understand mosquitoes are all over the damn place. I mean, if you look at the food which people are eating, you think they're feeding rabbits. I mean, the consciousness in our republic as to what public service is, it's just depressing. So when I see people fighting at these guys have been eating money, some of the things which we see in where these guys are working, if we talk about them, they will not even work in their areas. And that is why when we visit most of these facilities, you find everything is managed. How you are received, where you go and sit, which things you are shown. Because sometimes when we go to these facilities, we actually move in and don't tell the governors that we are moving into. There are places we call impromptu visits.
Yes.
Some of us go to morgues without announcing to the health facility, to the health people. And you know what is happening is that because the health facilities have got, there's a fund, it's something called improvement fund, health improvement fund, which was every facility that collects a little money, they're supposed to put it together and use it to develop the place. Or most of these governors have taken all that money and put it in one central fund in the county government, and that's the ATM kitty. And when you are there, you're being asked to do oversight, and we then, I've written more than 30 letters to ESCC explaining the challenges I'm facing in my county. Money is carried to them. They receive. We just a rotten state.
Money is taken to ESCC to bribe them.
Yes. This is, I've said it so many, CP. There was a time I was even telling one of the directors, I said, I don't know why you're so bitter that these are the things which are happening. All of us know. All of us understand what has been going on. And the system has deliberately been broken down. And that is why many of these governors you see, they are all rushing to the broad-based government. Why? They must stay close to government to bring development. No, there are more than 10, 15, 20 things which they have broken, the laws, which have been money which have been stolen. And they say, it will be mweh.
Boaz Waruku on social is saying that remind Senator Onyonka that they passed a budget of 4.29 trillion. Earlier we had said 3.6 trillion, so it's 4.2.
I was talking about the previous one.
The previous
whatever the number is.
Yeah. Sawa.
Yeah, and to me, those figures are inconsequential.
Why do you say they're inconsequential, Senator?
Because it's all fake. CP Muga, can I ask you a question?
Ask me too.
Take a calculator right now. Take 2 trillion shillings and divide it amongst the 47 counties. See how much money every county should get.
What I want
just like when you see they are talking about, the government has done wonders, in fact, and the government recently employed 75,000 teachers. Damn it, if you have 47 counties and you're employing 75,000 teachers, why is my county in Kisii, why are we not given 2,000 slots? 2,000 slots divided by the 54 wards that I have, I would be employing at least not less than 20 people in every ward. How come I have not employed those people? And means the names were given, they were put in the system. And I've said this before, and they have admitted it. They found the fake teachers employed in the system. Who put them there?
Who actually puts fake teachers, fake schools into the system?
The cartels running the money.
The cartels are where? In the ministry?
The ministry. They share the loot. All this is fake. Up to today, how can you tell me after 60 years of independence, we don't have an HR system where today you can print in the names if you're head of state and say, let's see, how many senior officers and job group J do we have? It's none. If I ask you today, do we know, even though under security protocols we are not supposed to announce, but at least as an average, do we know how many soldiers we have in the military? No. How many police officers do we have? None. And all this is a backup. It's a system that has been deliberately been designed where people are siphoning off the cash. And nobody talks about it.
Do you know
you are talking about it?
You know the picture that is being painted here?
Yeah.
If you take the argument to its logical conclusion, you then ask, so when we have a census and then figures are given,
yes,
can we actually trust the outcome? I am aware that what I'm saying here, are those figures that are presented, do they actually represent the people who actually exist?
No.
Or are those figures aspirational with the view in mind? Since we're in conspiracy territory, I've waded right in and I'm contributing. Because if we are to ask the serious questions, when you have a situation where an electoral process is brought to a halt because the census figures don't tally with the voting process and the numbers at the end of it, my question is that the only place where they didn't tally? Yes. I don't need two examples. I have one. I have to ask, why is it only that place? Are we saying that? And secondly, when we look at our numbers or the numbers of people who vote,
yes,
or we call registered voters, in this country, do people ever die?
Of course they die.
Yes, they do.
They do.
Sometimes conveniently. And then the other addendum, I think, CP, I wanted to add is the fact that then you bring in the issue of the elections, and our elections are the most expensive in the whole of the African continent. How can that be? Means this is money people share.
Actually, if we're going to take that argument, again to its logical conclusion, let's start with our members of parliament.
Yes.
Our members of parliament are some of the best paid
in the world.
Yes. Not even continent now.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. And we have deliberately allowed it to happen. Yes. Why? Because we sanitize our responsibility as the elected people. My salary is about 833,000. All right. Before it was 1.2, then the taxes were brought in at 35%. So it came down to 820 something. And then that includes me running my car. The driver I have to pay him. My PA, I have to pay him from that same money, which is fine. In fact, the money is quite enough. As far as I'm concerned, we should never be given any more salary increments. But let me ask you a different question so that you understand where you are as a state. The amount of money that the parliament, or should I call it the National Assembly, got, that is the Senate and Parliament, was about 39 billion shillings. And that money is budgeted for them, for us to hold our sittings, to do our whatever, and all the necessary, including those oversight things you were talking about. The total number of people who work at the 300 and 290 that we are,
Yes.
plus the other personnel, the clerks and everything, when you add the total number, they come to about 800 people. Tell me how 800 people share 36 billion shillings, 39 billion shillings in a year.
No, you tell me. How do you share it?
I'm asking you.
I assume that they are the recurrent costs of salaries.
Yes.
I assume that these allowances that people get, traveling or otherwise, I assume that this money caters for the benchmarking that your people are famous for. Okay? I also assume that it also caters for loans that I'm told the parliamentary service.
No, the
Loans
loans
are personal.
The loans are given by commercial banks and we pay.
Good. See,
And also our SACCO we pay.
so you corrected that.
Yes.
And what about, we are told that you are given grants to buy cars?
Yes, in fact, when you win an election and come as a member of parliament,
Yes.
you're given a grant of 5 million, where you go and look for a Prado or four-wheel drive, whichever car you want.
And this is for every election or
For
just
every 5 years,
so if you win the next election,
I get
uko na
another
5
car.
million.
Yes.
Wow.
I get another car. Yes.
Okay.
So someone like you has been elected 10 times.
Yes.
I assume you have 10 cars.
Not really. Not really. I have been. By the way, this is one thing that I defend vociferously, because we told in 2010 we asked the Parliamentary Service Commission
Yes.
to come up and buy a new car for an MP, make sure this MP is given a driver, make sure that every year there is a change of oil and change of tires,
The service,
the
yes,
service and
yes,
everything.
yes.
When we did that estimate, it came, total amount was about 34 million that a member of parliament had to be given every
Each.
year. Each. So giving somebody 5 million is a better
it's
deal.
cheaper.
Yes.
Ajipange.
In fact, it's I think one thing we did, the best thing we ever did.
All right. Then we also told that you are given a loan to buy a house.
Yes, when you come in, but it's deducted from your salary. When you come in,
Yes.
you are given between 25 and 30 million shillings, depending on, yes. But the payments come from your salary.
And that you're given every electoral cycle.
Yes, every 5 years. Yes.
So again, someone like you has been elected 10 times.
You have 10
you're
homes.
No, I have just bought 2. No, 3. The CP wait. I bought 3 houses.
Yes.
And and then there are apartments and one house, and
Yes.
I'm not too hungry
Yes.
because I'm comfortable. 2 bring rent, and 1 is where the people stay.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me put it this way: it looks a lot,
Yes.
and yet in reality, it's not. Because you see, the argument we were making then, when we were making these changes, is that if you didn't accommodate me that way, and you have given me the response, and this is what we are struggling with in our country, how much is it that I must steal, all right, in order for me to be a good citizen, serving doing public good? CP, stop laughing.
So this is what you're forestalling.
Yes.
Let the Mheshimiwa be comfortable so that they can do their job. Yes.
Now-
We even went further and made a recommendation in other countries, and Kenya has done very good what do you call it?
Benchmarking.
Benchmarking. In other countries, they actually have parliamentary villages. Yes,
Where Mheshimiwa
where
stay.
Mheshimiwa stay, and you can either be given an option of buying that house, so that when you serve the 5 years, you are able to have a home you stay and you don't move out of there permanently. And in some places, members of parliament are actually allowed to stay in those houses by renting them. Yeah.
Mheshimiwa, last year ulisema Mheshimiwa Matiang'i akisema utoke ODM utatoka. Do you still stand by those words?
Absolutely. Politics is local.
Yes.
And Kenyan politics has no ideology. It's purely on self-survival and maintenance.
Is your heart still in ODM?
My heart is heartbroken.
Yeah.
I am
Why?
like somebody who's having an ex who you've been waiting to see whether they can reform, and you find out the ex has decided to go and cohabit with another gentleman whom the ex was telling you this gentleman is a thief, is a crook, he is somebody who's killing our people, he's a useless fella. Then you find that your madam has just moved in to go and cohabit with this crook whom
and this murderer and everything. So you're
So your heart is broken.
he completely broken.
We've been obviously seeing the happenings at ODM.
Yes.
And you know, we are just wondering as a public,
Yes.
what is going on? We are seeing people being ousted, others being elevated. What's the plan with ODM?
I think ODM as a party
Yes.
has found itself in a very difficult place. Why is that so? Because, I mean, unless we believe that whatever that Raila stood for was just a hoax, that it was not genuine, that he literally never believed in any of the things that he told us to believe in. The issues of good governance, the issues of justice, fairness and equity, gender parity. You know, these, you see, many people think that many of us were in ODM because we just liked the orange colors. Absolutely not. There are certain basic things that we loved when Raila would raise them, that we would challenge, we believed in something. Out of nowhere, this party that so many people are crazy about, that so many people loved, especially after Raila then passed on and everybody was saying the most wonderful job he has done, some of us have realized that ODM has just become like all typical Kenyan families, where you have a mzee who has a homestead, and then the mzee has a family, and he has been telling the children, now you see this home the way it is, it may not be so big, but this is your guarantee that take care of yourselves, you're going to stay here with the small pieces of land each one of you is going to have in this homestead is enough for you people, just manage it well. And meanwhile, continue taking care of each other because you are a family after all. Out of nowhere, I am now being told, no, we are selling this property. And we are saying, couldn't you even allow Mzee to just be buried for 3 months? I mean, you are selling the property of this Mzee and you are telling everybody, as according to you, it depends on what you're being offered. And you are being told you are being offered to be vice president. Who told you that President William Ruto is going to give you the vice presidency of this country?
Is that what President Ruto offered Dr. Oburu?
That's what Oburu said yesterday, yes. That for them, the most critical thing is for them to be vice president of the Republic of Kenya.
But he's vacillating. He's vacillating because if the statements we heard previously was that the minimum point of departure was the presidency, then it seems to have been watered down.
Yes.
Now the vice presidency seems acceptable. Previously, it was nothing short of the presidency. What I find disturbing, really, really disturbing, Oburu is at the forefront of these discussions. There are people who are pushing. There are people somewhere
absolutely
who are pushing this agenda. There are people who even push the agenda for him to actually be the party leader.
Absolutely.
Because you cannot be a party like ODM and you didn't have structures where if the party leader is no longer there, what do you do next?
After that? Yes.
No, I don't think it lacked that. And even now, if you bring in this discussion around the Secretary General being removed, this matter is not complete. It has not ended. If you ask me, it has just started.
It has started, yeah. I mean, Sifuna for me is a beautiful accident. I mean, what blows some of our brains out when we look at what is happening is that did people ever care even what Raila was saying, especially towards his last days? You remember Raila saying, as far as we are concerned, we have an agreement with President Ruto until 2027. If there is a renegotiated settlement on the outstanding issues and we feel that this is going to go on, then we will consider depending on what's put on the table. Now, there are individuals who have stated that, in fact, Mzee himself was planning and thinking that he could run again. But even if he didn't run, the question that I have really struggled with, what are we doing I mean, Kenya is considered to be a multi-party democracy. A multi-party democracy is an undertaking where the state, the government in power, is there to run the affairs of state, as we are the government in waiting. Particularly after the ruling of the High Court, where in fact our numbers in Azimio were bigger than the numbers that the Kenya One Alliance had. So why all of a sudden are you catapulting yourself into saying you want to work with government? And anyway, if you are honest and you are sincere, like my brother John Buddy and Atandi, they are really excited. They're saying how they have made money in the rest, for the few months they've been in government. They have made enough money that they would never look for it again. And what I'm asking them is very simple. You love the government. You love UDA. So you go there and leave ODM. Why are they still holding on to ODM? By now they should have said, we are actually people who are pro-UDA. Next elections, we are going to run on UDA. You people can Sifuna and Onyonka and whatever, cross over and go and take that ODM thing you want and stay with it.
Yeah.
Why are they still insisting that they must be in government, but they are going with ODM? You love the government. Join it.
And it is okay to love the government.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's nothing wrong. But be honest about it. Don't be hypocrites. Because they fear that anything they are going to strike up here. Go and look at what Gladys Wanga said 3 years ago, and go and look at what John Buddy said 3 years ago on who President William Ruto is as a person.
Yeah.
They are saying he will not honor his word. So they are worried that if they go na kichwa yote CP, he will swallow all of them and make them completely moribund.
Now, where does it leave individuals like yourself? You've said you're heartbroken, but the party is clearly going in a direction that you do not necessarily agree with.
But Paul, let me ask. Please allow me.
Please ask.
I mean, when you say the party is going, what do you mean?
ODM party?
No. No. The ODM party is not the party leader. Please understand.
Yes.
However, the reason I said ODM, the direction they're taking, is because yesterday there's a party organ that met and they decided certain individuals should not hold certain positions.
Did they ask Sifuna to go and defend himself on whatever charges they're raising?
I know he wasn't there.
It's a requirement.
So whether they asked him or not, I wouldn't know.
No, it should have come out in public.
It's a requirement.
They didn't do it. It's a requirement.
It's a requirement.
Yeah. I mean, the point, we are making it very simple.
Yes.
The NDC has a role to play.
Yes.
The National Delegates Conference. Did the National Delegates Conference sit down and actually say, we have discussed and we have explained to Sifuna, the recommendations we've made is that from now on ODM is going to engage seriously with the government, and the government is going to deliver, and there are certain things we expect, basic minimums we are asking for, and therefore we are asking Honorable Sifuna to accept that sometimes you have to let the majority. Nothing happened. People went, made a decision. Oburu came in, he's the party leader. After that, everything has proceeded as if nothing happened, and they are now pro-government, they are branding, they are doing everything with the government, and yet we are a multi-party democracy. We don't have a coalition government with these guys.
Well, let me ask another question. There are things that people do politically,
Yes.
and sometimes you arrive at the understanding
Yeah.
that they forget that there is no party without its supporters.
Yes.
Now, the NDC is probably the best representation of
the supporters.
that you can think of. It's not the NEC. Not really. That's an executive.
Yeah.
So, when a decision of that sort is made, what you've done, you've opened us up for a delightful discussion, because we want to see whether the public your public actually supports you. Because this is what. How many members of parliament does ODM have?
Yes.
ODM has really very many members of parliament.
Yes.
These people represent a constituency of people who supported them in that party. Those people whom they elected are the voice of these supporters. Okay? There are people like my brother here
Yes.
who is supported because he is who he is. If he left ODM and went for another party, he'd still get elected. He's been elected before.
Yeah.
In 2 other parties. So when I talk about the parody of the 10 times being elected, there are individuals of that sort. There's a guy called Shabir
Shabir in Kisumu.
Yes. Keeps getting elected. on an independent ticket.
Independent ticket.
Meaning the voters want to elect him. They don't really care which party you stand for. The question I'm asking, do you think the ODM supporters support this particular activity that we saw the other day?
Yeah.
We saw with Hamisi, then we've seen with Sifuna. Does the public that support the ODM support that?
Let me answer this.
Yes.
At a personal level, yesterday was a very sad day for very many ODM people. Because ODM, you see, either by design or by accident, we ended up believing that ODM is the one which will provide the last line of defense against any bad governance issues. Let me use that term. And yet, from what CP is saying, we have not been given an opportunity to allow the public to come to, whether it's in Kasarani or wherever, and give them an open field. Let people vent. Let the NDC, let the members of the National Delegates Conference be the place where we are discussing what our democracy means. Let Sifuna stand up and say, I don't think we should cross this way. Let the other side get their best, all right? So that their best can come and tell us why they think we have to join government. And yet we have a problem. And the reason why you notice this thing is very, very painfully confusing to many people. For me, the best expression that we have is you look at what the Raila family members think, except Mama Ida. You have got Junior, Winnie. They're all giving cryptic messages. Ruth Odinga has said, and we nearly 90% of us agree with her. The problem is not Sifuna. The problem is that you're taking a party that stood up and believed in certain things, and you are making us assume that the relationship that we have got as a people who are in that party, that relationship is purely transactional. That you are going to negotiate for certain things, and it does not matter completely. Even if this president decided that he's going to have a one-party state coming back again, some people, I think all those people who are joining him feel that it's still okay.
Honorable Onyonka, let me ask you, if you look at the number of people that you are saying that are steering this ship in the wrong direction, how many are there? Are they 5? Are they 10, 20? Are they 40? Are they more than 100?
I believe the few who have been given jobs in the broad-based government,
those are 4.
4, 5, or 6, and there are others who are seeing new opportunity because Raila is not there now. They are creating their own shop. There are some who believe that the government has so much, and in fact, you can never finish what the government can offer. There are some who are making very, very painful arguments I've seen, who are talking about the discrimination that went historically to the Luo nation because of our mismanagement of our politics, and therefore as a result the victimization and the historical injustices which came up. And what we are saying, that is a fact. These are the facts. This is where we have come from. Do you want us to go back there? That ODM has stood up against bad governance, against corruption. We have tried even with the challenges we've been having. And then all of a sudden, people are telling me now, no. In fact, the corruption you're talking about, even when Mzee Raila used to talk about how people are stealing money, how things were being taken, and all these things that are going on a daily basis, we used to steal hundreds of millions. Now we don't. We take billions. In fact, I believe soon we might even end up losing $1 trillion.
At this rate?
At this rate, because this money looks like it's never enough.
On Sunday,
yes,
you are going to be in Kitengela.
Absolutely.
What is the agenda for Kitengela?
Continue with discussing with the public wa mashinani and telling them what has just happened to our lovely party and explain to them that for us, we CP, one of the things I was telling a friend of mine the other day is that many people forget one thing. If you look at these young men, whether it's Sifuna, whether it's Babu, whether it is Caleb Amisi, whether it is sometimes people put me there, but I'm now considered as a geriatric old thing. The truth, CP, the truth is what has dawned on some of us is that contrary to what many people never realize, Raila was actually training people.
Yes.
And the team that you have right now is incredible. Those young men, even when I see other people who are what I call the hardcore ODM side, which is gone to government, insulting us and talking about and saying all sorts of things, the truth and the reality is that right now, it is the team you have that has gone on to the other side against Mzee Oburu, or we are being called rebels, is I think one of the best teams that ever was. It's beautiful. I mean, we know how to mobilize. We know what to say. We know how to say it. We understand exactly what to tell the Kenyan public. And the most beautiful thing I saw when we were in Busia, not a single penny was given out for people to show up in the street.
And they showed up.
And they showed up.
Which means the spirit of Raila lives.
It lives on. That's the point we are making. For us, they can remove Sifuna. The truth is, when I look at Sifuna, what do you see? I see a young man who has taken it to the next level. It doesn't matter what you say. He's able to challenge. He's talking to power. He's able to do what Raila was doing when nobody else could even imagine it. So these people kicking out Sifuna, they think they are removing Sifuna because he wants a job. Sifuna is no longer talking about wanting a job. Many of us, people like me, we are not looking for jobs. We are talking about we are destroying our nation. And that is more personal than they can imagine. We are not excited by these big things these people are offering. CP. I'm sure my brother told you how much money they have offered. I even called my brother and said, you go and check this money. He told me, you eat their money, they kill you. Don't touch their money.
You eat,
they kill you.
You know, the thing that I find interesting,
yes,
I find very many things interesting of late, is that this path that we are seeing has been trodden before.
It's a repeat.
It is.
Yes.
It is. You see, Raila was a natural leader for the disenfranchised in this country because he came from a region and a community that had been disenfranchised.
Thank you.
He paid a price for it.
For it.
It's in the public domain.
Yes.
Like nobody else had paid.
Yes.
So when he spoke, it was easy for people to identify and say, actually, this guy knows what he's talking about.
Thank you.
But the thing was, he was consistent.
Yes.
And he was never afraid to walk away when he disagreed. He was not afraid. He said, "Apana, this one is.
We'll not accept this.
Nah, this one, we're not going to. We're not going to work with this one here." You see, now, when you see that consistency,
yes,
it is easy to explain. Do you know? I was explaining this to the other day, that all these things we keep discussing that we summarize as an enigma have actually been studied by very many prominent universities across the globe.
Yes.
Whether it is the handshake, whether it is somebody who can change the policy of a country to the point where you have a new constitution, and yet they've never been president.
Absolutely.
Somebody who can find an alternative to go into war with the handshake by saying, all right,
yes,
this is the problem. I'm saying it is being studied.
Yes.
Not by one, not by two, not by three, by around 6 or 7 universities. They are studying it and they're asking, what does this tell you about not the thinking of that person, but what it is that are examples that have been seen to work. Kenyans take this piece we have for granted and speak carelessly about the handshake, not knowing the significance.
Thank you.
That this has brought to the country at every stage.
Yes.
Countries that don't have handshake go to war.
True.
People disagree, people take up guns and machetes.
And they decide to kill each other.
Yeah,
Yes.
we can even see it in our neighbors.
Yes.
Yes.
What we do here is we insult each other. And then you and your brigade of keyboard warriors.
Why are you pointing at me, CT?
Sini watu wako hao.
Now you'll make people think I'm a blogger.
No.
Nani watu wako?
Of course, I get it.
CP is just explaining. And CP,
Yes.
I remember once I was making this argument. I think I was with you
Yes.
somewhere, and I mentioned we were sitting there when Raila was making the decision what to do with the Gen Z demonstrations.
Yes.
And he wasn't careless about it. It was, I saw when I was looking at him during those meetings, which were at JOF,
Yes.
Jaramogi Odinga Foundation offices.
Yes.
they were some of the most difficult, most painful discussions I've ever seen. Because half of us, the same people today who are jumping and running to go and join William Ruto, who are saying how today they handle cash, and in fact they no longer carry Kenyan money. Now these days, you know, all the ruling elite, they carry dollars.
They do, huh?
They are smaller to carry and convenient. Before they went to collect that convenient money,
Yes.
they are the ones who are saying we have to walk to stations and kick Ruto out. They are the ones now. They are the ones who are they're the ones who are saying, in fact, people like me, the Onyonkas of this world, who are a bit crazy. They say we are crazy, and yet, CP, what you are saying is very simple. If that decision had never been made to forestall Gen Zs not to walk to State House, where thousands of people were going to be killed, where once the government became dismembered, and these are the things that I would love my colleagues at the National Assembly and the Senate to start discussing. We never discuss what are the weak linkages in our system. All right, we've only put certain guardrails against any excesses. But what if the excesses surpassed? Let me explain to you what I'm saying.
Yes.
It was the first time that we realized that out of this country we have got 47 mini presidents. What would happen if these presidents were all supposed to come and set up militias? Tell me how you're going to negotiate with 47 people for them not to allow militias to get into the streets. So what many of us, what we are saying to Kenyans is this: there was a deliberate decision to forestall the collapse of the nation. But that wasn't a guarantee for the bad behavior of this government, which was going to collapse, to continue having the bad behavior, which may eventually anyway lead it to what? To collapse.
Yeah.
And we are saying the president must handle this country with statecraft. He must understand that this country is not a personal, asset. That this country has owners, and these owners include from the Boda Boda Mamamboga group to all the guys, including Uhuru Kenyatta, who's been a president before. And the president must be able to balance the two sides, the three sides, or four sides. And it cannot be that he's the only one who actually knows what is good for the country at 100% capacity.
Mheshimiwa, lastly, you said, I think it was yesterday or the day before, you said presidential elections are not safe in this country.
No.
Yeah.
The point I make is very simple.
Yeah.
CP.
Yes.
What did Kriegler say? Elections are stolen during transmission. What has everybody else said? Why is it that if you look at the elections let me talk about Kisii County. We never had a single. We were me running as senator, Simbarati running as governor, Donya Toto as a women rep, and we had all these other members of the county assembly. Do you know that leave the presidency, from that level all the way down, never had a single issue? In our case, we didn't even have a single petition.
Not one.
Not one. The women rep never was taken to court, which means the exercise was free and fair.
Yes.
So why is it that it is now at the presidency that we want to kill ourselves? Why is it that we are preparing to hang each other because somebody is stealing the elections? And what we've said is very simple. The stealing of the election is at the transmission. When you are transmitting those elections to bombers of Kenya, that's where how Kamangu has come in. That he has to provide the software, which then is, which you know,
Yes.
that you can actually even interface, and especially now it's much easier with AI, that when the elections are going to come, yes, you are saying that Keumbu polling station, Nyosia primary school, there were 224 voters, and the presidential candidate who won was this. What we are saying is this: we don't want these guys to say that the transmission, remember that nonsense, how people are carrying documents from 34As. From let's say from Kasipul,
Yes.
in a matatu coming to Nairobi to hand them over those things in why?
Waseme huko.
Finish with the form 34A on the ground and take the photograph. Allow all the members of the
agents
the agents to take that information.
Na ni hivyo.
And all, in fact, these people should do, once these people have done that, we have got how many constituents? 290. Just call the chairman, the person who's managing, the presiding and returning officers who are managing the elections with that form, and they'll say, we collated, tabulated, and the votes which we know from Kisii County, the winner was President so-and-so, and there was President so-and-so. We have no problem there. You can have data to collect that information and give it out there, but it's supposed to be acting as a guarantee against any
fiddling,
hanky-panky. And yet in reality we keep on saying transmission. That is where the elections are stolen in Kenya. If you go to look at Nairobi,
Yes.
who won the elections? Sakaja. Nobody filed a petition against him. The exercise was free
And fair.
So it is that small thing that we need to fix, and then we can be fine.
All right.
Yes.
Mheshimiwa, thank you so much. This has been very exciting and enthralling. We say that it's never too late to have conversations that can change this country. Na kama kawaida, we invite you, njoo tuendelee kuongea.
Thank you so much, CP.
bro.
You know you have been my brother, my friend, and everything.
Oh yes.
I want to congratulate you all for being here.
Thank you.
And if you need me to come here, I'm open for space.
Oh, you are going to be coming very often.
Yes.
Amesema ako na mafuta ya kutosha. Gari yake inaweza fika.
Yes. In fact, they tell you there is fuel. We'll fuel you.
All right. Thank you so much. Job Kola, Maurice Andati, Victor Lesusian, Ramadan Abdallah, and the very many of you who've actually lent your voice as far as this conversation is concerned.